truth.
I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hey, what are we doing here? They're doing the Jim Price Show. What day is today? We're going to call today the 24th. It is a Wednesday, 2026. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of the show. A little bit of confession. I lost track of time. I'm just sitting right here. I was cleaning out my email and going to make sure I had a bunch of stuff I was deleting and just didn't get this. I apologize for a couple minutes there. So anyway, thank you guys so much for showing up and being a part of the show. I do appreciate it. I got my new, my little foamy things today for my earmuffs, my little earmuffs. So they go right in there. I got the new ones on. This is an extra set because I actually have extra headsets. But what was happening was the lining was falling off, so I had to go ahead and get that taken care of. But anyway, so new muffs today. We'll see how it feels. It does sound a little different, actually. It sounds a little, I don't know. Maybe my ears won't be pressed up against the inside. That was the other part of it, too, is because the foam wasn't as full as it could be. It was actually letting the inside of it kind of like press against my ear, so it was like smashing my ear a little bit. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, there's days I wonder what we all are running to. And there is a big decision today. Came out out of the big the old big data box there. There was a big thing come out. A judge has decided that Trump cannot require voters to show citizenship. Now, we can all get mad about that. But at the end of the day, I want you to listen for the contradiction in this. And I think too many times that we don't listen for these things, and that's why we get ourselves in a bit of a bear trap. We start going against ourselves and our own ideology. A federal judge on Wednesday permanently banned Trump from implementing his executive order that required proof of citizenship when they register to vote. Okay? Boston-based U.S. District Attorney Denise Casper, a black lady appointed by Obama, said the Constitution does not grant the president any specific powers over elections. Any specific. Okay, cool. All right. So she said that. That's her big thing. Yeah, you can't do that, Trump. I feel so much better. I'm going to sign this and you got to obey. I'm judge. I God. Me do God thing. God thing say, do this. Bye-bye. Now, here's the problem. That's my making fun of a judge, and I will make fun of judges all day long. They feel like they have this assumed power, and the sad part of it is that it is absolutely, completely fictitious, and it's all been stolen from the American people. Judges do not have the power that you give them. Stop doing it and stop giving in. And the sad part of it is there's a guy who works for an entirely different division, an entirely different department, an entirely different organization called law enforcement. The Department of Justice in each city, county, state, and federal government is over here. Okay? This is this part. This is this part. Now, when the guy with the badge and the gun goes over to the DOJ and says, whatever you say, Judge, I'm going to do it. Whatever you say, Judge, I'm going to do it. Oh, you want me to go to Jim Price's house and beat his door down because you said he's dealing drugs to little kids? Let me do it, man. I want to do it, Judge. Oh, you even know the guy, Ben? Oh, yeah, let's make sure and double down on that. Because Detective Real or Officer Real or Special Investigator Real or whoever that person was who went and got that warrant knew that Judge Ben G knew me. But this is the problem. Maybe this is the problem why I haven't talked this part out with you guys. Is I don't mind that you want to, judges have got authority and I've got a judgment for, this and I did this and that and this is that and this is going. My problem is, guys, We have given over enormous powers to judges who do not deserve it or have authority, because now the guy with a badge and a gun will do anything that that judge says. Anything that judge says. And then that judge will back up the guy with the badge and the gun if he just happens to accidentally shoot you while you were resisting. Now, guys, I'm not saying that every situation is a police brutality and all that other stuff, but I will let you know that when we hear the mix of people being thrown into the suicides and the, oh, we didn't mean to shoot yous and all that, well, that gets thrown in there with people who are pushing back too hard against the government. But what do I know? I'm just a guy here talking about things that I have no idea about, right? Hey, Nina Horton, good to see you. Nina Horton, thank you so much for being a part of the show. She's the original OG. She was here back way when I started on radio back in 2018-19. She was on here and chatting me up. She's been a great hero of mine. Great conservative woman, a woman who loves her husband who's been gone for a while and loves her family very much. So Nina, we'll raise a glass to you. There you go. I use copper. You do what you want to do. So anyway, so the problem, okay, so let's go back. So we're talking about this Obama judge, right? This black lady who Obama appointed has somehow now came up with a perfect thing that says that Trump has no specific election powers, that he cannot require people to use some type of identification that proves that they're a citizen of this country, that they're a member of our country club, of our organization. They're part of the Cool Kids Club. They're part of America. They get to call themselves Americans. See, I'm not a Irish American or a German American or a French American. No, I'm an American. And then that's it. And I'm from Kansas. And if you ask me where I'm from, I'll say, well, I'm from Wichita, Kansas. If you say anything, well, no, I'm from America first. Yeah. See, people that live in America ask each other, well, where are you from? You say, well, Wichita, Kansas. It's a city and a state. But I live in the great state of America. The continuous states of America. The 50 continuous states of America. That is what I am a part of. That's who I am. Now, according to this judge, I'm going to read it again. I want to make sure we all hear this very clearly. I mean, she's got some very specific words. This is her quote. She said, the Constitution does not grant the president any specific powers over elections. But wait. Under the state constitution, the state government must safeguard American elections in compliance with federal laws that protect American voters' voting rights against dilution by illegal votes. Diluting your vote, right? Putting more votes in the box than are necessary because those people are not citizens. Voting rights against and guard against dilution by illegal votes, discrimination, fraud, and other forms of malfeasance and error. Yet the United States has not adequately enforced federal election requirements that, for example, prohibit states from counting ballots received after election days. This is a federal law that we're complaining about, the fact that California still has not decided on the mayor's race. They're still counting ballots on the mayor's race from 2 weeks ago. We can issue 113 billion unique lottery tickets that can be tracked down to the millisecond to which numbers and which ticket and which person bought it with which cash or card and their entire background seconds after that last ball has dropped. That information is given out and they know exactly who you are and where you are. But California cannot count their mayor election results in 2 weeks. You guys getting it? It's a matter of will. Pay attention here. Now, yet the United States has not adequately enforced federal election requirements that, for example, prohibit states from counting ballots received after Election Day or prohibiting non-citizens from registering to vote. Several federal laws, including 18 U.S.C. 1015 and 611, prohibit foreign nationals from registering to vote or voting in federal elections. So the problem with this is that how come this lawyer, this judge who is so amazing and knows all of the laws can go in and say, well, Mr. Trump, you can't make people show citizenship, but our federal laws already require it. Our federal laws already require it. It is already settled. It was supposed to be doing this the whole time. But when they found out the voter registration process was weak, when they found out the voter machines are weak, Ukraine, Venezuela, and others, Nebraska is where all those voting boxes came from. Dominion was started in Omaha, Nebraska. Don't worry about that. The same guy who invented it ran for state senate, then introduced this voting machine to the legislators in Nebraska, saying how much more efficient and how more accurate it could be. And then the very next election, he won the governorship. Guys, you think I'm making it up? Go look up the dude who had brought the Dominion system to America, and the very next election, after he brought that to Nebraska, became governor of Nebraska as a Democrat. Daniel Whitmore, what's up, man? Good to see you, brother. Thank you so much for being here. So the problem with this whole thing is that this lady, this Obama judge, this black lady, who, you know, probably great grandma and does all kind. Not that she's a great grandma, but she's a grandma and she's great at it. But the idea that this is like, oh, this is what we do. This is just what we do. We just stop things that are already federal law. So now are you telling me that she is now changing the federal law by precedents from the bench? The bench now creates precedents of interpretation of laws, not literation of laws. And by the way, whatever happened to Chevron deference 3 years ago when all of the national laws of federal, state, city, county, state, federal laws were all thrown out the door because the Supreme Court said, now, by the way, everybody's all about the Supreme Court. Everybody's all about the judges. Everybody's about bending the knee to the judges. Oh, the judges are gods. Oh, I got to bend. Oh, gods. Oh, well, there you go, judgy. You're just the best thing ever. What happened to Chevron deference when the Supreme Court said that the legislators are required to not only write the law and describe the variations of the law, but also put in the penalty phases of the variations of the law? Now, if you violate certain parts of the law, these are the consequences and these are the terms served with that. But with Chevron deference, that didn't happen. We're talking about every single law on the books since 1970-ish. 78 or 79 in there somewhere, the legislators decided, oh, we'll just let the departments, we'll let Homeland Security tell you how long you stay in jail if you violate their laws. We'll let the EPA tell you how long you stay in the jail for violating their laws. No, you see what I'm saying? This is why these agencies seem so out of control, is because they actually are. It happened in the late 70s when we decided to go ahead and just let everything go. But Chevron deference took all that back and said, no, the city, county, state, and federal government, legislation, the bodies, the powers that be, all have to go out there and create their own litigious system, that the judges don't get to make it up. The agencies don't get to make it up. The lawmakers have to do their job, period. Not say, oh, EPA, make the smog go away. Not change the formula in the fuel and the planes so that we prime the atmosphere so geoengineering can happen with the aluminum chaff called glitter, but also with the silver iodide. Silver iodide is how they activate the chemicals that are already primed through the radiation of the sun in the upper atmosphere, and the silver iodide is what brings all that water to you. Remember the girls in Texas last year at 4th of July? They admitted that they had just sprayed 2 days prior to that silver iodide in the clouds so that they could then prime it for rain upstream. Well, it didn't quite work out that way. And so here we are. We're having this conversation. But I'm telling you right now, when the EPA decides that they want to change the formulation of jet fuel because they have the ability to do whatever they want, they're just the EPA director. They just do as they will. And then they say, oh, yeah, we need to change the formulation of jet fuel. Why? Well, because DARPA asked us to. Because they said that they wanted to be able to do better weather modification. And so if we prime the upper atmosphere at 32 to 36,000 feet with jet fuel just up there real nice and the formulation that comes out of the exhaust, it's just crazy, crazy, crazy. We got to get better. But anyway, the judges are just nuts in this country, and I don't understand why we bend the knee to them in a way. But if we are actually going to say that this judge can do what she wants, then why aren't we doing what the Supreme Court said and getting our laws right and pulling people out of prison right now? Because every single conviction since 1979 is absolutely fraudulent. And if there's any lawyers out there who want to go and actually research what I just said, which I've been talking about this for years, that if you get the Chevron deference case and you look at it, you're going to say that every single law that has been enforced or jail timed or fined, all of that has to be refunded and made right since 1978 or 79. Chevron deference just a couple years ago, that's what we're talking about here, guys. The Supreme Court. Now, wait, is this lady a judge and then we have to bend the knee to her? Because she's rewriting federal law that says you don't have to require citizenship or the president doesn't have particular election powers. But he was just giving an executive order that said, hey, let's go ahead and do that federal law thing. You know, where the federal law says to do these things. Can we just do that part? Oh, Jim, we have a new person, Richard Zimmerman. Oh, Richard, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. If you're going to drop a hi to us, half of your score, we do hand out grade cards and we do evaluations on all listeners. I'm just kidding. We don't do that. But if you do want to drop a hey, how are ya? Hey, how are ya? In the comments each day, that's half of your grade. So attendance and participation's half the grade. And then the rest of it we just make up. So anyway, we do like it when you guys chat us up and let us know you're there. That is always amazing. And I always... the guys I listen, I have people in Australia and England and all kinds of places and up in Europe that message me and stuff like that, and I am always honored by any of that. It is neat to be able to say that there's that much going on that people don't mind reaching out and say, hey, I'm listening to you in a foreign country because what you got going on is a lot more interesting and it sounds more logical than what I have going on in my country. And the sad part of it is, guys, is that this whole thing with the World Cup, this whole thing with Trump and the Strait of Hormuz, the whole idea that the general secretary from the UN is in the White House currently right now speaking with Trump. They were doing a presser upstairs. And I was in a little bit of a zone on listening to parts of what he was saying about that. But I will tell you, the general secretary of the UN really thinks Trump is a pretty cool guy. And he was very much gushing all over him. Now, my problem is, guys, is that let's get back to this. Why is it that when Trump said we need to follow federal laws that a judge can come in and say, no, we don't? So then now we don't do that because she said it, but when the Supreme Court comes down with I think it was like a 6-1 or 5-2, it was a big decision. It wasn't like a split thing, that this Chevron deference was a real thing. And so Chevron deference, we need to get that right. But what do I know, right? That's this whole thing, right? We continue to praise judges and honor them and do what they say. And the guy with the badge and the gun's like, yeah. But then where's the guy with the badge and the gun enforcing the Supreme Court? Where's that at? Where is the guy with the badge and the gun saying that all laws, rules, and regulations since 1978 or 9 are completely illegitimate? Basically, anybody that is in prison right now shouldn't be there at all, even according to murder. Do you understand what that means? if we have not legislated and we have not done our job as citizens to enforce the legislators to do their job of prison sentence and description of crime down to details of if you break this part, this is what it costs you. If you do this part, this is what it's going to happen. That was all their job. And they all shirked that off back in the 70s. And we wonder why the agencies seem to have so much damn power. But I will give you something here for a second, guys. Listen, I want you to hear this. Now, I don't know what I did here with my box, but I screwed something up. I don't know what I did there. I don't know what I'm going to be. I'm going to have to finish the show just like this. Now, I will give you a little bit of a hope, what I had hope for today. I will tell you that I did listen to Johnson this morning when he was doing a press conference. And when I was listening to him do the press conference, he talked about, now listen, I've been out on Johnson. I think he's coming in soft. There's a lot of things I think he's coming in soft on. And Thune is an absolute piece of shit. And I mean that with S and the H and the I and the T. He is a huge turd. Yeah, Thune. And I told you that when they brought him in, it was a year ago. I was like, nope. Nope, 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 no, 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 no. He is not a player. He is not in there to win it. He is not the guy. Now, Johnson, again, not the guy. But I had a glimmer of hope today. Let me give you the glimmer of hope with Johnson. Now, I listened to the presser go on, and I just happened to catch this part, which other people have now clipped and said, well, listen to Johnson. He's trying to be a guy. I actually listened to Johnson today, and he actually said that we do this moment in time of this primary and going into this midterm election cycle, that this is a turning point for the Republic. Now, we've all learned what a democracy is yesterday with Sheriff Mack on, right? We all know what socialism and what communism and authoritarianism is. That's what we fought England to get away from. By the way, the monarchy was the worst level of communism ever. So people want to run around and act like, oh, the King of England, oh, he's so precious. He is a remnant of communism. So shut up about it. We were living in communism and the 13 colonies. We were being ruled by someone far, far away. Have you not read the papers? Have you not done the history? Have you not just sat down and read it? Read what really was written to the king? What was really said at the time? Do you guys know? I want you guys to listen to something for a second. Do you know how easy it is to turn the tides of America? This is how tied up we are on our own self. If we actually just move the needle somewhere between 1% and 3%, depending on the topic, full adaptation, everybody will jump on board. And so don't give me this crap. We're like, oh, Patriots, No, nobody. You want to swing your flag, but what's the action behind it? Where are you? Are you a precinct head anywhere? Are you anywhere on the ballot where you're getting voted in? Are you participating in all that? No. Everybody wants to get the flag out, and they want to swing the flag. Woo! I used to have a flag sitting right here. There's a Trump flag over there. Anyway, they just get their flag out, and they want to swing it, and they want to do all that, but what are they doing behind it? What is the effort behind it? And if you have a 1% to 3% adaptation where people say, I'm not going to do taxes. No, not going to do it. I'm not going to pay into the IRS because I know that that's a collection agency for the Federal Reserve, and I'm not participating in it. How about the idea that we have too many laws on the books and we need our congressmen? How about the ones that you just don't? I mean, listen, why do you obey laws other than that you think there's a penalty phase? What other reason do you need? See, a lot of times, like things like people telling you to put your seatbelt on in your truck or your car. Who are you? I thought it was my body, my choice. I get to do what I want to do. Abortion is a right. What happened to that? So if I want to throw my body out of a piece of glass in my truck, is that not my choice? Oh, no, it could hurt others. You could hurt others? I get, yeah, bodies flailing around at each other is probably not a real good idea. But I think the part where the heavy parts of metal and glass and all that other shit might get in a bigger way. But my problem is that why do we, and I love this. I love the seatbelt argument because it is so basic and so simple and so freaking stupid that 30 years ago, people were like, why is there seatbelts in this truck? I grew up in vehicles, I never knew they had seatbelts. Ever. They were always tucked in, down and behind. You never saw them. When you were vacuuming the car out, or the truck out, you might have seen them. But you never saw them. They were brand new. But now I've got people who will get in my truck and then tell me I need to put my seatbelt on. Now, I turned off all the ding, 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 ding and all the other stuff because you can do that in every single vehicle on Earth. Anything that's programmed, you can unprogram it. But I'm sitting in my own vehicle that I paid for with my money and I'm insured and I'm driving and I picked it out. It's my truck and it's titled in my name and I got some other human being talking to me like the government in my own god dang truck. Why? Why do people do that? Do you not see the hypocrisy of that moment? Do you not see that we have been trained like a bunch of monkeys? Hey, get your seatbelt on. Get your seatbelt. I'm not paying your ticket, man. I'm not paying your ticket. Did you know that if I'm not wearing a seatbelt in the vehicle, that I will get the seatbelt ticket? That is according to state law. Not the driver. Now, if I'm a child, yes, I would get the ticket, or he would get the ticket if I was a child. But now we have people who have to be in booster seats if they're under 100 pounds. You have to be in a booster seat if you're under this height. We got all gave us so much, but trying to kill us all at the exact same time. These mother effers are out there putting things in our food and in our water and our skies that they know they're killing us faster. But then turn around and tell us they're going to put a seatbelt on. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Woo! Sir, do you know why I pulled you over? Yeah, you don't have your seatbelt on, and I'm going to shoot you. I'm being funny there, guys. Relax. Nobody's shooting at anybody over a seatbelt ticket, are they? Do I need to look that up? Has that actually happened? And the other thing, it's just another probable cause statement effect where you get to say, I didn't see a seatbelt on him, so I pulled him over. Merry Christmas, everybody. If I have an individual in my truck that I pay for with my insurance, it's on my back, and I picked it out, I drive it, I put the tires, did all that. And then I got somebody acting like they're Agent Smith from the Matrix, from the government, sitting there with their Ray-Bans and black suit on going, where's our seatbelt? And don't tell me, guys, that none of you have done that. Don't do it. Because I know you have. And I have been a denier from day one. Even with my own children. Sorry, yeah, I put my kids at risk. But that was my choice. Oh, but they didn't have a life that they... Doing dangerous things dangerously makes you young and keeps you young. I'm not lying to you. That is a factual statement. Doing dangerous things dangerously keeps you young. The reason you get old is because you don't jump. Because you don't try, because you don't do things you used to do when you're younger, because now you're old. Well, it hurts more. Well, maybe it hurts more because you sit around on your ass too much. Why do we have to fight about things that the government is telling you what to do with your body? Why is it we have the government telling us what to do in my damn truck? Now, if I want to get in my truck and I want to cut the top of the damn thing off, rip all the seatbelts off, sit on an egg crate, and go 100 miles an hour doing whatever, why can't I? Well, because you're going 100 miles an hour and the law says you obey the speed limit. Again, my truck, and if I can handle that speed and I'm able to do those things, again, what did the speeding ticket add to it? Well, speed was the reason for the accident. There are times that those things do happen. There are times when people race, things happen. There are times that you walk out of your bathroom on January 1 and you fall back and break 5 ribs in 7 locations and put a hole in your lung and you're suddenly dying because things happen. Guys, I have been on buildings with no harnesses on 3 inches of material walking 30 feet out and didn't think a thing about it because it was my job. But I have got people running around going, "Yeah, did you wipe your fingers? Did you do the thingy? Did you do this? Did you do that? Oh, the government says put your seatbelt, clicky, clicky, click." And I could have died in my own damn bathroom. So if you guys want to get trivial with me about how I'm going to die, well, at least it was a story, not dying in a bathroom. But the government keeps telling you to do things safe. The government keeps telling you to be afraid. The government keeps telling you that there's a boogeyman around every corner, that you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die. But yet, our government is also lying to you about the laws that they have and enforcing. The government is lying to you about the authority of what a judge really is. The government is lying to you what the policy enforcement officers really have. The policy officers do not have arresting authority according to the original charters. It was over time where we decided that this now can be somebody who can carry a gun. Now this can be somebody who can now make arrests. Now this is somebody who can shoot you. And as time went down, in the beginning, it was a good idea. Just like the internet was about moving data back and forth, and now it's 90% pornography. Look it up. I'm not lying to you about it. It's 80, 90% porn. We do very little with what we have here. Now let's get back to it for a second, guys. Our government has guys in a robe that represent the crown. The judges in the black robe represent the British Accredited Register of Attorneys, the Bar Association. Those guys have an entire police force of policy officers, policy enforcement officers that go around and do their bidding. And this judge will then back up this guy if he shoots you and say it was justified. Oh, no, don't worry about it. I'll sign it for you. There you go. Or this guy will go out and shoot you because he wanted to talk to you. Do you see how incestuous those two relationships have become? Well, no, the sheriffs do. The warrants. Okay. Daniel Whitmore says, "Yeah, right, Jim. I tied steel working bridges and OSHA came. I got sent to the hotel, paid for the day. I always made my supervisors as bonus, but OSHA made that impossible." You know what, Daniel? You are absolutely, absolutely correct. And that's why I did that. You know what I was going out to do? Do you know what I was going out to do on that beam? I was going out to get the brace. I was going out to catch the brace, the brace that was holding the beam out here. I was going out to nail it back on because the nails were moving off of it. It was on a 4x4 post that was 28 feet, 20 feet, something like that. Anyway, it was a post, and then this glulam beam was on there. It was a 3 1/8 all the way out. So I walked out there with my bags on and my nail bags and everything, walked out there, bent over, nailed it on, and then we even went ahead and brought another board. I caught it midair, dropped down, nailed some more in, and then turned around on that 3 1/8 and walked all the way back. Now, if OSHA would have seen that, if anybody but here's the problem. How do you get the job done? Oh, well, you go get a cherry picker and a crane and all this other stuff. Okay, well, now your house costs 30% more. If you guys actually let OSHA get into the housing industry at all, you guys will never afford a house. That's why commercial buildings are so expensive, because of all the regulations and how much oversight is into those buildings. That's why you don't want OSHA in residential. You'll never get a house built. You could never afford a house if OSHA was on it. I'm serious, guys. The federal work that I had did for 18 years, all those contracts, I had worse than OSHA. I had a federal government that would tell me what time of day I needed to let my guys take breaks and how long for because it was certain temperatures. If they were in the direct sun or if they were in shade, I had to give them certain breaks and make sure that they were sitting down because that was what the federal government said we do on heat advisory days. Guys, I started out as a framer. I was a laborer on a framing crew at, 19? And I worked my way up to foreman by the time I was 21. I was a superintendent at 25. And when I went from residential to commercial, and I saw the amount of legislation, the amount of government in that, and I was just doing this. I was doing a dental office, which is still over here on Hillside and Kellogg on the north side there, my very first commercial building. But the point of it is that the amount of government that goes into that makes that commercial building 30% more expensive. And it was literally built like a house. It was a partial slab on grade with basement, frame stick. They did an EIFS exterior stucco, and everything inside was sheetrock. It was just a house. And it literally cost 3% more because it was commercial. That's it. But guys, I just worry about the fact that we keep running past all these victories and we're not picking them up and using the bounty that was there. Chevron deference should be really rewriting the American landscape, should really rewriting a lot of the people that were wronged, including people that may or may not have been deported. I mean, I know there's stories out there of people going, hey, man, I did everything right. I don't even have a Spanish accent or an Italian accent or a Chinese accent. I made sure to change how my eyes look. I got them, my eyes right, my nose right, so I look American, and, I got my stuff. I did everything right, and suddenly now I'm deported. I'm sure there's people that have done everything absolutely right, but they will still get deported, and I don't know, okay? Guys, just like the stuff that happened to me. I don't know I know the hidden hand now, but at the time I didn't know who the hidden hand was. And the silly part of the hidden hand is just people wanting to control other people. It's so weird. I don't know. I don't know why that bothers me when people want to be obsessive about other people's stuff. Daniel Whitmore says OSHA costs the small guy, pushes the small guy out of business and opportunities. Absolutely. See, that's another thing, too, is hey, I want to go and I want to do this or want to do that. Well, you always, it's amazing when you start running into the city. I wanted to buy a building. This was back in 2016 when I was running for office. Oh, by the way, guys, listen, or 2018. When I was running for office, I was getting ready to buy a building. I had all the investors, everything lined up, and literally somehow the investor got the article early and busted up the whole deal. That's the kind of stuff that politics will do to you. When you're really trying, there's somebody out there doing they'll just call and say, hey, Bill, yeah, just do me a solid and, yeah, don't invest with that guy. Oh, okay, cool, man. Okay, no big deal. Because he doesn't care. It's not like he was investing in me as it was like his life savings, like he was the only thing that's going to get him through the end. I mean, it was just he had the extra, right? That's what those type of investors are doing. But when we talk about the hidden hand and we talk about those things, it is the bureaucracy. It is those little things that a person that will just make a simple phone call or a simple suggestion or drop a word like, hey, don't look at that guy. Don't talk to him. He said bad things about this, or he did this, or he did that. Sad part of it is that how do you unprove it? You said something negative. Now I got to go around and tell everybody that it's not true and how it's factually not accurate and show the fallacy in it, which makes me sound guilty, which is the whole point of it. But when do we get back to the idea that we are the true holders of this republic? We are the stewards of what is a republic. When Johnson was saying those things about he wants, we got a republic here, I really kind of got a little giddy. I really, really did. I got real giddy about it because, to me, it's like, holy crap, is he getting it? It gives me hope. It gives me an idea that maybe, just maybe, we're going to get somewhere with this thing. And if that's true, if he's saying the right words now, a lot of speculation about people are saying that the Republic is coming back after the 250. Well, that may be very, very possible. So that after the 250, that we may be able to get our Republic back. I don't know. There seems to be a lot of different things going on out there in the world, and I want us to believe that it's going to be positive. Because if I don't believe it's going to be positive, then how could it ever be positive? I observe my future in America, as Trump has said, the golden age. I want to see that always in my far view. That's the goal to always be looking for, is I'm going towards the golden age of America. And it's just going to keep getting more golden and more golden, more golden, more golden. Now, hey guys, listen, I've busted a few knuckles working on cars. I've busted a few knuckles working on houses. I've busted a few knuckles working in the garden. There are going to be things that happen. There injustices will happen, but if we don't get honest about the injustices, how can we ever move forward? And I'm not talking about slavery and all this racial shit. I'm talking about like real injustice, like property taxes and the way it's been thrown onto people, how it's been leveraged against people in the city that they're not even participating in, just like New York and Mandandi stuff, right? And the whole idea, well, this guy has a $280 million condo, and we're going to tax him a little extra each year. See, these are the wrongs. But if we know that a law is actually damaging, why can't we go in and make that amendment to that and allow that to not be damaging, that part to be changed? But too many times the ego and the lack of will keeps us from wanting to correct those things that are wrong in the world around us, including ourselves. So as we go through these things, guys, listen, it's going to get a little bit different out there. I don't think the world is going to fall apart the way we hoped. I do believe that there is going to be some problems. But I do believe that can be a learning lesson that pushes us into greater things. But we've got to be willing to do the work to get there and stop sitting around going, well, I don't know. I was thinking the other day, I was No. Guys, put the work in. Let's start doing things now. Let's get better about it. Now, I went on and on about the judges thing. I didn't really mean to go that far down that, but it really is amazing that we've allowed this much to happen and to go this far. There's no reason for us to have to put up with the amount of debt and the amount of stress that we're put under. And here's the sad part of it. As long as we, as the United States citizen, hold dear the Federal Reserve note, it will always hold control over us. Now, we got to find a better way to create commerce, to create exchange with each other. That's what the idea that I've talked about with properties that I want to buy it or develop is that I want to be able to get the whole community, be able to do our own thing. It's actually not that hard. It is practice. You have to learn how to do it. It is nothing normal. We're used to going down to Piggly Wiggly or Wawa's or Kroger's or Fry's or Dillon's or wherever we go for our groceries. We just go down there and get it. Well, how about if we start planning on it and then we start putting up a greenhouse and we're doing canning and we're doing preserves and we're learning how to store foods that will last for, some years, sometimes years in cold storage in a way. So those things, if you can get a group of people working in a circular motion that allows that to happen, that's where we've lost our ability to stay home, guys. Because there is not 3 generations in the same home. Grandma, parents, children. Grandma, parents, children. Grandparents, grandpa, grandma, mom, dad, kids. That was the symbiotic thing because grandpa and grandma already had the property figured out, and then mom and dad were working into it, so they knew how to do the things. They're learning from that, but then the kids learn how to do that as well as young kids, and it just gets easier as each generation goes through, and they all separate the work. Yes, it is a type of socialism because everybody's doing everything for everybody. But if you were to do that in small groups or small properties or some of these even old schools out in the country or other things like that, you could make a community that could do that. But it takes so much effort up front to break away from the matrix. But nobody's willing to even break away from the laws that are not legal right now. We're not even willing to have that conversation. We can't talk to the cops because they're too busy honoring the judges, and we're too busy giving the judges all the power. Guys, somewhere along the line, you got to cut the contracts, cut the tethers to these people. Figure out what you want. If you want liberty of the mind, you want freedom of the body, then act like it. Put the effort into this whole thing. I bet you we'd all enjoy a real cool republic. I think it'd be great. Too many times I don't think we want to do that, though. We don't want to put the effort in. So anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. It's been good seeing you. It's been an awesome, awesome day. I hope you guys understand where I'm going. And if you guys haven't printed out your state bill of rights, your individual state bill of rights, print out the individual state bill of rights. It usually only takes about 1 page. Maybe it's 2. Cut it nice and neat. Tape it on the window just to the side of you or whatever you look at to brush your teeth. And then read your bill of rights in your state every single morning. And I want you to do that for about 90 days. And after 90 days, you tell me how you feel about you and your state and what you should be doing, because I think it will motivate you far more than you realize. All right, guys, remember the 10% we do for our neighbor, community, city, county, state, the federal government. The more you do for them, less have to do for you. Learn how to be selfless and not so damn selfish. The world will be a far, far better place. Remember, hold the line, hold fast. Do not give up, do not give in. We'll win. I promise, make promise I can't keep, guys. You've always been the answer out there. Remember, the Constitution limits the government, but never limits you. And if you don't even know what your Bill of Rights for your own individual state is, don't come to me crying when they're out there with a gun to your head. Oh, Jim, they're going to kill me. How'd they get there? How did all that lay out? How did they feel like they had the authority to do that to you? Because they don't. If you learn, learn your Constitution. Print it out. Put it on the mirror where you brush your teeth. Read it while you brush your teeth. That way you get plenty of gum brushing in. Brush your gums as much as possible. You're not brushing your teeth, you're brushing your gums, and you learn about your state Bill of Rights. All right, guys, that's about it for me. I'm going to get out of here. I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. You guys be good to each other out there. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.